king-8 suited for Daniel.
Clubs missing and everything.
Re-raises to 4,500. Phil quickly calls.
I love how he beats me in the pot. Beats the 3-better in the pot.
Mercier folds his ace.
Jason's folded 2 cards that would be helpful to Phil.
Donnie's out.
Phil's call is given better odds for Eugene to make this call.
And Eugene does.
We've got 3 of the 4 suits represented here.
Those hearts feel so left out.
Owner of a lonely heart.
6-9-5.
Airball for Eugene.
He checks.
Daniel's only got a gut shot, but that plus the pre-flop lead looks like it's going to be good enough for a continuation bet.
There it is to 6,500.
Phil's got a monster draw. I'm going to call it a flush shot.
Hellmuth calls.
Oh, and he's got the best hand with ace high.
Oh, by the way. Ketchaloff folds.
2 of the best.
Jack of diamonds on the turn. Daniel checks. And Phil checks.
Both these guys decide to slow down when they miss the turn.
10 of diamonds on the river. Phil's ace high still best.
Daniel's river to flush draw.
What would we call the 6th card to come?
Super river.
King high.
Pretty nice to win a hand even when you've completely bricked out.
Hellmuth takes down a pot of nearly 28,000.
A few moments ago, we showed you Daniel was second in 3-bet percentage, but as you can see here, Phil isn't afraid to call any raise pre-flop. He's number 1 in that category. Since he's the most likely to be involved in a big pot, it may have something to do with the fact that he's sitting to the left of the other 2 most active players in the game. At this table of aggressive players, Phil's done a pretty good job of changing gears.
Well, Phil will get us started because Daniel's on the straddle.
Daniel's raising Phil already.
Pocket pair for Phil.
How to win the max from here?
Probably limping.
Another dig from Donnie.
No, it's 4K it.
It's too much. 36, right?
36. Max bet is actually to 3,600. Pot limit pre-flop. Phil's attempting to win the max by betting the max. Risky proposition.
Action folds around to Prahlad. King 10 suited. He calls. Ketchaloff folds.
36, yep. Yep.
Daniel's in with a suited 1 gapper.
Prahlad hopped the fence. Wowie.
Prahlad hasn't been playing many hands tonight.
10 Jack 8 all clubs. Friedman checks middle pair. Daniel checks.
Club check. Check.
And Phil checks.
Surprised that when Phil hears the word club, he doesn't immediately try to order bottle service.
How about hearing 4 of clubs? Prahlad checks.
Hang on.
Daniel checks.
4,400.
Phil bets 4,400.
Phil Hellmuth is putting on a position clinic.
I can't make a bet look any weaker than this.
Prahlad's only got 2nd pair and no club.
1 down, 2 down. Take it, Phil.
What? Why did you think that bet looked so weak?
It just looked weak. Didn't it look weak?
I'm just curious. I was wondering what he would say.
Well, you were watching. Did it look weak, Jason, or not? Tell the truth.
Oh. With the speech or without the speech?
Without the speech, it looked pretty weak, right?
The way you threw it in or the amount?
Both.
No opinion.
I think Prahlad folded just to avoid the speech.
Weak or strong, Phil continues his aggressive play and rakes in more cash. We're coming back with more after this.
PokerStars.net is now offering you poker tips directly on your phone. We will send you text messages and video tips from the PokerStars.net pros. All you got to do is text POKER to the short code 52525. Really easy. Text message POKER to 52525 now. Standard text message rates apply.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, where we play the big game.
All right, Donnie, because I threw those red chips I didn't like that move on my part. That didn't show enough class. I'm buying you a bottle of Dom Perignon, sir, as a way of apologizing.
Phil, that's not necessary, man.
No, I'm buying you a bottle of Dom. You got it.
The best way to follow up one gauche and incredibly body move is by making another, I guess.
Actually, house rule for every bottle that goes to a player, 2 go to the broadcast booth.
Cheers, buddy.
Action folds around to Daniel. Raise to 3,000. Phil snap calls again.
Daniel's favorite hand is 10-7 offsuit, but with specific suits, this isn't quite it.
King-Queen suited for Donnie. Or maybe Dom-E. Calls.
Nice. Yummy, yum. That was the sound of Prahlad's range widening with all this money in the pot. Havana Banana might not even be good enough, though, but it is suited.
It is good enough. He calls. The flop, 6-Queen-5.
Donnie's flop top pair.
Looks like he's about to lead out. He does to 8,000.
Wants to try to protect that pair.
Friedman and Negreanu fold. Now Phil with bottom pair.
Phil and Donnie have gotten into it plenty tonight. We might see another bottle of Dom purchased after this hand.
Phil calls.
Let's gamble, kid.
Keep in mind, only one of them is gambling.
The turn, the ace of spades.
That ace doesn't complete any draws, and Phil hasn't folded to a 3-bet yet, so he's obviously calling light a lot. Let's see if Donnie is undeterred by the ace.
Stern fires again, this time 18,000.
Phil's now got 4th pair, and he's picked up no more outs here on the turn.
And Phil's going. So Donnie rakes in more chips, but let's focus on the new and improved Phil, Joe.
Nice hand, baby.
This new complimentary Phil isn't the nit some make him out to be. He's calling pre-flop raises a ton. He's never folding to 3-bets, and he's not backing down after the flop either. He's calling continuation bets almost half the time.
Ketcheloff straddles, so Daniel first to act on this hand. 9-4. See ya. Phil?
Well, it's so easy to do in the hold'ems because there's not that many people, right?
I'm going to raise the pot. What is it, 32?
36.
36.
36, all right.
Phil raises to 3,600.
He'll move somewhat light again from early position.
Mercier, king-queen offsuit.
Jason hasn't been at the table very long, but he might already be catching on to Phil's newfound aggression.
Plus Mercier is on the button. Re-raises to 11-5.
That's a re-raise there.
Queen-5 suited for Donnie Stern.
It looks like Donnie might be up to something. Donnie might know that Jason knows Phil is likely to have raised light. Maybe tough for Donnie to give Jason credit for a hand.
So it's one of those he knows that he knows that he knows.
We're up to like 3 levels, like Inception.
Now we're up to a 4-bet.
Wowie.
Baby doll. Give me it.
Prahlad's added another 50,000 to his stack. Big sweat with all this money in the pot.
Not that big.
Wow.
Ketcheloff folds.
Definitely calling 8 more, but
Phil's out.
Jason looked like he had a read on Phil. Let's see if he has any sort of read on the fact that he's got Donnie dominated. Jason has to be considering whether Donnie's actually got a hand or if he thinks Donnie thinks he might be making a play. A 4-bet in this spot looks mighty strong coming from Donnie, however. Jason would be behind to any ace.
Mercier folds. And Donnie takes one down again.
Pure aggression.
Time to check in on the big game bank account. Donnie has pulled a 180 and is now up 188. Meanwhile, his nemesis Phil Hellmuth managed to turn a profit as well.
Jason Mercier just showed up. He's stuck a bit. Daniel continues to fall. Horrible day for Palat, and there will be no victory lap for Andre Capella.
All right, guys, that was the last hand of the night. Phil, Donnie, isn't it better to just be friends?
Play nice.
Well, I mean, sometimes I don't always play as nice as I should, but I always admit it when I don't.
All right. Well,
I apologize, Tim.
You
I'm
guys
buying a bottle of Dom.
Promise me no more fighting tomorrow night.
I can't promise that.
Never mind. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now. And remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. See you next time.
If you want to appear on the big game and be a loose cannon, simply log on to PokerStars.net. There are free qualifying tournaments every day. For Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose. See you tomorrow night. The preceding program was sponsored by PokerStars.net.